Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo, Doc Sports, here with my main man, Raphael Esparza, bringing you your Friday football betting bonanza. Be sure to go to docsports.com for all of your sports betting needs, including some of the top picks from some of the best handicappers in the country. We have $30 top games for football weekends, and you can click on any of the links above or below down in the description and get $60 free to use for any handicapper in any sport of your choosing. I'll let you do the math on the $30 top games and the $60 free. So, Raphael, can you do a little math for me here? This Florida Tennessee game, the ESPN game day game, is 10 and a half right to you? Is Tennessee that good? We're all in on Tennessee at that level that number should be 10 and a half.
I don't know if we're all in on Tennessee. I don't know if maybe yes, Florida got that big win against Utah, the opening up to barely to win that game. I mean, let's face it, if you rewatch the game, they should be had easily should have lost that game. Then they put a big tank at the Swamp against Kentucky, and then they squeaked out a victory against USF. I don't know if maybe they were overlooking because they knew they had to go to face the orange of not your Syracuse orange, but the Tennessee Vols orange on Saturday to face them. I like the way this Tennessee played. I like the way they ended the season last year. They're more experienced. I think their winning streak of coming 3-0 and that offense. I mean, I know they put up 65 points against Akron, something around there. That was a disgusting blowouts, but I think we're going to see a big scoring outburst on them. And I don't know if Florida can go toe to toe on offense. If Tennessee puts up 7 quickly, are they going to match that and go 7 quickly? Because if it's a scoring race, Tennessee's going to blow them out. I see Florida maybe doing a backdoor cover, but I'm not sold on the Gators, even though I would love to get a Florida W here. So it helps my Utah get into the final championship but that's not going to happen. But I like Tennessee, but I think Florida backdoor cover.
Yeah, Florida 1-9 against the spread in its last 10 games, and that one cover was that nail biter against Utah, which, as you mentioned, you should have lost.
Stupid Utah.
10 game against the spread losing streaks are rare in college football, especially for a high-profile team. Let's say Florida gets whitewashed in this game, and they don't cover the number. Is this a team that we should be looking to bet on maybe moving forward? Because, again, the market corrects itself. Right? Teams aren't going to continue losing against the spread. So if Florida gets beat, could they be a potential buy low team moving forward?
They could, because I think their numbers would be a way to, I think, over adjusted. Because they played, let's say, I don't want to say a horrendously tough schedule, but I mean, that Utah game was a tough one going into because everyone was high hopes. Kentucky, this one against Tennessee. So they played a tough schedule. So we might, if they, let's say, get blown out, we might get a really good numbers on them for the rest of the season because they're going to see those losses. The bettors are going to see those losses and fade them. So, yeah, I definitely would put them on my circle list to see if maybe I can get a cheap number on them going further. Because, again, going to the Swamp, I don't care who you are, it's always a tough place to play.
Another team that's played a difficult schedule so far in this young season is App State. The Mountaineers, Raphael, just a thrill a minute for these guys. They were on game day. They won miraculously last week. Letdown situation here. When you say against James Madison?
I did. I know people are probably like, what, pausing their video or maybe clicking off it? Like, why are they talking about JMU and App State? Why didn't they talk about Clemson and Wake Forest and other games on it? Because I love JMU here. I thought JMU was probably the better team than App State. App State is the flavor of the month because they got a squeaker on game day, a Hail Mary win on game day. We all know about their W's against Michigan in the past, Texas A&M a couple of weeks ago. But I'm sorry, I'm high on JMU. JMU was fantastic before they moved up a ranking on there. I love the +7. I saw some books +7.5. I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be my free play. I'll talk about it more at the end of this video, but I think JMU has the recipe to get the outright W here.
James Madison 8-2 against the spread in its last 10 games, and they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this one. They didn't play last week. They had a bye while Appalachian State was winning on that Hail Mary. So we'll see how well prepared they are for that. So, I mean, let's be honest. Let's talk about the biggest game on the board, the game that everyone's talking about. 3-0 Duke versus 3-0 Kansas. Just a battle of college football titans out in Lawrence, Kansas. Are the Jayhawks for real, Raphael?
I think so. I mean, I'm fun to watch them play. I mean, normally I don't watch Kansas football because I'm like, ooh, because I watch them like I get excited for
Was
college
it
hoops.
available? Yeah.
Now I'm actually watching Kansas football, getting excited for Kansas football. And the same thing with Duke. Duke has been they've been irrelevant a couple of years. They've had some nice wins, some nice W's, or some small bowl games, stuff like that. So this is nothing new to them. But for Kansas, this is new for them in football. So I'm excited this game. I think this number is a little bit too high. I think I had like Kansas maybe like 5.5, 6. So getting that solid 7, it would not shock me if Duke is the backdoor. I was really impressed how Duke went to Northwestern and won there, even though Northwestern's not the same Northwest we've seen in the past. But it's always a tough place to go there and beat Northwestern. I like how they handled their business last week as well. So I think it's gonna be a fun, tight game. But again, I'm probably going to watch this game and not even think about college basketball. But normally I'll be like, ooh, college basketball is almost a month away. I can't wait to watch it. But this one's all about football.
Yeah, I mean, Duke has actually really outperformed my expectations. They parted ways with David Cutcliffe, who really built that program up from
Yes.
one of the worst in college football to, respectability. As you mentioned, they made a few bowl games. I feel like they made the ACC championship one year.
Yes.
I might be wrong about that, but I feel like they did. Uh, he walks away. I was expecting the bottom to drop out and for Duke to go back to being what they were, say, 15 years ago. Hasn't happened. Yeah, it's interesting that Kansas is getting a lot of love here, as they should. I mean, true road wins at Houston and at West Virginia, it's nothing to sneeze at. Road wins in college football are always going to be tough, and those are two pretty solid teams. We saw what West Virginia could do on Thursday night. It's interesting to me that the spread is coming down, though. We got a little bit of reverse line movement as the public kind of lines up on this exciting Kansas team. But that number started at 9.5, and it's being bet down now. You think there's sharp money coming in on Duke, Raphael?
I think there is. I mean, like I said, I think the number is a little bit. You just said it. Duke's playing some good football, and but also those two road wins. I don't care who they were against, but when you're in a locker room and you win not one but back to back road wins, and again, we all saw what West Virginia did last night or Thursday night against Tech and Metallica, and a big win against Houston, winning by double digits. Where that's not a tough place to go to Houston and beat them. Uh, I understand the line movement coming down from 9.5 to 7 because I think but it would not shock me. It's going to be such a tough game. It would not shock me if we see like a West Virginia Kansas game, like a 55-42 type of game going in the fourth quarter, and maybe another late touchdown. And it's 55-49. It's just a nail biter. I think we're going to see a lot of points scored in this game. I think it's just going to be a nail biter, and I think whoever has the ball last or whoever scores last it will control this tempo. And I think, again, I'll take the plus points with Duke.
You talk about high scoring games. USC has one of the best offenses in college football. They're heading to Corvallis to take on 3-0 Oregon State. Again, another game with a reverse line movement here, as over 70% of the public betting action in this game is on USC. Naturally, one of the big names in college football. But that number keeps creeping down, Raphael. I checked this morning and it was under 6. Oregon State down to 5.5, and I would not be surprised if it continues to drop. Both teams are 3-0 straight up and against the spread. Who gets the edge in this one?
There's an article on ESPN from Dave Putnam who wrote about how William Hill Caesars put up a bad. I shouldn't say a bad number. USC's always going to get bet because of USC before the Chargers were there, before the Rams were there. They were the only pro team in LA. So betting wise, working in Vegas, USC was always a big bet. A team. Oregon State's always been the pretty much bottom of the Pac-12. Never got that much money on them. Maybe when Oregon State played the rival, some Beaver money would come in, or the Beavers are in Vegas playing something like that. You get some money bet on that. So I understand sportsbooks putting up a high number, knowing that they're going to get USC money and they need a bag for Beaver money right away. This is the same thing. All the money's coming in the Beavers right now. If this number continues to drop, I can guarantee you before kickoff, 9:30, I think it's a 9:30 Eastern Standard Time game. Money's going to be flowing in on USC. The bettors who got crushed in the morning and crushed in the afternoon are going to probably jump on USC. I'm not saying wise guy money, but I'm saying Joe Public money who got waxed and all that. It's going to balance the books off. I think this number doesn't creep down any lower. I would not be shocked if it creeps up a little bit the closer to game time because I think USC money comes in.
Yeah, they can't creep it down too much more, even if they continue to get a flood of Oregon State money, because then they could open up a potential middle. I think this number opened at 7. You get that number down in that 4.5 range, then I think there might be some people that try and dive in and go for that middle, with this being a one-score competitive game, which we kind of all expect it to be. Another game that we're expecting to be very competitive and very entertaining is Arkansas at Texas A&M. Raphael,
Suey.
you know me, one of my favorite college football betting systems. You have the lower ranked team favored over the higher ranked team. Arkansas, top 10 right now, allegedly. In the polls, they're top 10, but I don't think they're one of the 10 best teams in college football. Underdogs on the road at a neutral site against the Aggies. What do you see in this little SEC showdown?
First of all, why is this a neutral? Why is this in Jerry's backfield? I don't understand this. It's like another reason why I hate the SEC being in the Cotton Bowl, whatever you want to call this place that they're playing at. And I agree with you that Arkansas is not the top 10 team, but I wasn't sold on Texas A&M and the beef they had all summer with Alabama saying, "Oh, look at all our recruits, look at all the money we're coming in there." They should have lost to Miami if Miami could catch the ball last week. I don't know how many drop passes the Hurricanes had last week. Lose to App State. I'm not sold on A&M. I like Arkansas in this one. If they can control the ground game, I think they're going to control the tempo of the whole game, and the clock's going to be ticking, and Arkansas and Texas A&M won't be able on the field. I like Arkansas here, and I'm going to laugh again if Texas A&M, because all we heard all summer long was beef, 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 and now they have to eat their words all summer long. Give me Arkansas.
I think both of these teams are among the most overrated and overvalued in the country.
Because they're in the SEC.
Arkansas struggled. That's exactly it. Arkansas struggled with Missouri State last week. They won 38-27. They only beat South Carolina, who's banged up and who's not as good as some people expected them to be. They only won that game 44-30. Giving up 30 points to South Carolina is a little bit of a red flag. I agree with you. Texas A&M didn't play great last week, but that's a pretty good Miami team that they just beat. I think right now A&M has played better against a better schedule. And I just think that, again, Arkansas is overvalued. They're not as good as people want them to be. Everyone wants Alabama to have a challenger in the West. But I can tell you right now, Arkansas is not it. So you and I are on opposite sides of this one. But Raphael, before we let you go, and by the way, I got to say, I'm proud of you. I let you pick the college football games to discuss this week. 2 SEC games. I'm proud of you, man. You're getting over that SEC hatred and you're jumping on board, right?
I'm sorry, Clemson and Wake Forest. I really am. I just think Clemson would show the better talent of Wake Forest, and it was a hard one. It was either I wanted to complain about Arkansas and Texas A&M where they're playing that game. It's probably the main reason why I booted Clemson and Wake Forest out. So I apologize for Clemson Wake Forest fans, but why are they playing at AT&T Stadium? People, who cares about Jerry's World and the SEC, Arkansas and A&M fans?
What is the point of doing YouTube videos and having a YouTube channel if you can't just go on here and complain about things? So I wholeheartedly support your decision. So Raphael, give the people a little freebie. Give them a little taste, a little free pick for this weekend.
The Kool-Aid flavor of the month still is App State. I mean, the miracle touchdown to win the game. You were heavily favored to win that game. That should not count as a W. That should count as a middle finger asterisk where you got lucky to win that game. JMU exposes you. I'm not sold on the Mountaineers. They're 0-4 against the spread at home. That means their last 4 home games, they couldn't even cover that number. I'm sorry, JMU, their experience. If JMU can steal people that had better scholarships back in the day when they were in Division I and to come play for JMU, they have a great program that just keeps on clicking. It's going to clicking on Saturday where they get the outright W against the overrated, okay, yes, I'm right, overrated App State. Give me JMU Dukes.
I'm taking Kansas as my free play. I'm on board. They're 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games, and a lot of this is a fade on Duke. As I said, they have kind of outperformed my low expectations for them, but I'm not going to put too much stock in that win over Northwestern. That's not a very good Northwestern team. Plus, winning 2 road games for a team like, we just kind of don't see that happening. Remember, this is an early local start because Duke is coming west and they're kicking off at noon. So they're going to be 2 hours. It's going to be 10, 11 a.m. That's going to be tough for Duke. Not as tough for Kansas because they're going to have the sold-out crowd behind them. They can score points quickly in a hurry. I think the game will be competitive for about 2.5 quarters. But then I think Kansas is is going to hit the Jets. So if you can get that number at 7 or less, I don't love the 7.5, but because I don't think Duke is going to win this game, I have no problem laying the points with Kansas. All right, he's Raphael Esparza. I'm Robert Ferringo. We are Doc Sports, docsports.com. Carpe diem, and good luck.